What is good, everybody? So today we're going to be finishing up that White House press briefing that we had started yesterday with the Epstein stuff, and then Trump signs in the Genius Act. So we're going to see a little bit more about that. Let's dive right in.
If you'll indulge me, on the rescissions package, I wonder what the White House makes of this theory that it increases the odds of a shutdown. The theory is basically, why would any Democrat vote for a bipartisan spending deal with Republicans if Republicans can turn around and claw the money back the next day?
Look, $9 billion worth of crap that it was in our federal funding that is now being rescinded. This is a good thing for the American people and the American taxpayer, and I think our Office of Management and Budget Director was saying this process should be more bipartisan. Democrats, there was a time in this country where Democrats too cared about getting rid of waste, fraud, and abuse in our federal spending. I think every American agrees the government spends way too much money on things that don't matter. Some of those things includes PBS and NPR, or for instance, the Democracy Fund, which was funded to the tune of $83 million through the Department of State. But they were giving hundreds of thousands of dollars for gender equality and empowerment hubs in Yemen, $3.9 million for strengthening information integrity, equality, and democracy for LGBTQI population of the Western Balkans. These are not good uses of the taxpayer funds, and Republicans are proud to lead that effort, and we wish more Democrats would join us in that.
I wanted to follow up on the Maureen Comey question just to clarify. Did the White House have any knowledge, or did the president sign off on her firing?
This was a decision that was made by the Department of Justice.
There was an agreement that was made between Immigration and Customs Enforcement and the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services regarding access to Medicaid information for 92 million Medicaid recipients around the country. That includes health information.
Just about set up, and we're going to go ahead and roll up on
So how
up
does that not
chat.
violate HIPAA violations and privacy concerns, for example, of American citizens?
I'm going to have to defer you to Immigration and Customs Enforcement on that. I'm unfamiliar with that agreement that they made.
Caroline,
Thanks, Caroline. Two questions. Russ Vought said today he's going to be looking into cost overruns in the Fed's renovation projects. Is there a deadline for him to come back with findings of that?
I don't believe there's a deadline the president has set for Russ Vought, but I think, again, this is a good use of taxpayers' time to look into this project that is millions and millions of dollars over budget. It's for a big, beautiful mansion for the federal chairman, reserve chairman, and I understand that it costs much more than it did the beautiful palace that many of you joined us at when we went overseas. So it's completely unnecessary, it's overpriced, and I think it's a good thing the administration, led by the president, is looking into it.
If there ever were to find wrongdoing or fraud, would the president reconsidering firing Jerome Powell?
Look, it's a hypothetical question. We'll see where it goes. The president spoke about how he feels on this matter yesterday.
Sure. Thank
Go
you
ahead.
so much, Caroline. So we saw Ambassador Huckabee arrive to Prime Minister Netanyahu's trial to show his support. Does the president plan to impose any kind of sanctions against the Israel judicial system?
I don't have any updates.
That said, now it's the other way around. The last time it's night for me. Oh yeah, it was. It's kind of daytime for me still. We will be doing another sleep stream later tonight. We just gotta
that he directed the Department
do
of
our
Justice
politics for the
to
day.
do an
You know what I'm saying?
exhaustive and thorough review, and they did that. And they all agreed. The FBI director, the deputy FBI director, the
Guys,
attorney
if
general.
you want to get
on
your
the memo
name
that they drafted and they
on
released.
this shirt, like Death Player 1 right there, biggest name right at the bottom, all you gotta do is super chat. All super chats go on the shirt of fame tonight, guys.
Legal status for 7-year increments. It also gives permanent path to residency for so-called dreamers. And, you know, President Trump and Labor Secretary Chavez, who previously co-sponsored a version of this bill when she was in the House, they've spoken about a work deal similar to the bill, I believe. What's the difference between a work deal and amnesty?
Look, as I told Reagan, the president, the White House have not reviewed this specific piece of legislation, not where our focus has been. But the president, for one, has been very clear he does not support amnesty. We'll go to, oh, look at some friends in the back. Brian, go ahead. You didn't show up early enough to get some good real estate up here.
I love it. Any update on the auto pen? I know that there was the DOJ and some others were looking into the thousands of documents that were signed off just before Joe Biden left office. Any update on the auto pen?
Yes. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing at how far
She's
away you
laughing
are.
at you.
And you're going to need to get some microphones back there.
All right, chat.
The auto pen investigation, yes.
Everybody
The
roll
White
up
House
as we're
counsel's office
as
has
we're
launched
watching
their own
today.
investigation into
better see
former
some smokers
President
in chat.
Biden's usage of the auto pen, we have requested some documents from the National Archives. And again, as I've said many times from this podium, and the president has said as well, it's incredibly important that we get to the bottom of who really was at the tip of the spear in the decision-making process here in the White House. Because former President Biden himself admitted to the New York Times, I understand he never gave interviews when he was here, but now all of a sudden he wants to give one. And he said that he
she's
did
throwing
not
shots,
actually
dude. She's
review
picking up
every
Trump's
single
personality
pardon that he
for how much
signed on
she
his
talks
way
for
out the
him.
door. That's incredibly concerning, and I can tell you it's something this president would never tolerate. This is a president who is signing things all the time. Any document that has legal implications, this president's signature is on it because he's the one making the decisions. It does not appear that was the truth in the previous White House, and I know the American people want to receive answers on who was running the show, because the decisions that were made in this place really destroyed our country, and get to the bottom of it.
Dude, last night's chat
In the
loved
back.
her. They were flirting, dude. You guys don't like her?
They are not able to get visas as quickly to travel to Israel.
It's not your type?
And it's been elevated to Ambassador Huckabee's station. Is the White House aware of that? Does it have any reaction to that? And is that part of the president's disappointment with Netanyahu and his government?
Look, I'm not aware of that, Mark, but I'm sure, again, our National Security Council is, and also the State Department. As you know, travel visas roll through Secretary Rubio's shop over there, whom we work very closely with. So we will check in on the matter. But I know overall, this president and the administration do want to streamline the visa process to make it easier for both Americans who want to travel abroad and people abroad who want to come to our country the legal way. Go ahead.
Bro, what is up with every time I get people in my chat, they say Tim
Go
Pool.
ahead, Libby, and then you.
You guys are crazy. Let me look him up.
Two questions for you. The first
Why do people
is
do
during
that?
the Whole Nation Summit, Secretary
Oh,
Noem
it's 'cause of
suggested
the beanie,
there could
isn't
be
it?
some changes to TSA's liquid limits. Is the president aware of that? Is that an idea
Yeah, I'm
that he's
Tim Pool.
backing?
Oh,
and
guys.
what would that timeline and the changes look like?
Sure, I would defer
I
you
just
to
saw
the
what it looked like
Department
with
of
his
Homeland
beanie
Security,
off.
but I did see
Come on now.
Secretary Noem's comments, and I think it's great that on day one she asked TSA, what are we doing right, what are we doing wrong, how can we make air travel more efficient while maintaining
Yo, I appreciate
utmost
that, Def.
security for American passengers and travelers.
That's
and I
the
know they
OG,
announced,
the
no
first
more
member
shoes,
on this
or you
channel.
don't need to take off your shoes
So I hope you
anymore
guys
at the
take
airport,
notes,
which
okay?
I think is welcome news
Def
to
is,
all of
our
us
biggest-
who travel a lot.
our biggest supporter.
But further guidance or decisions, of course, that's
Everybody
in the Secretary of
W
Homeland overview.
Beanie and
I
a
would defer
beard,
to
yeah.
her.
Tim Pool with the
Review
beanie
is
and a
on
beard.
Bondi and Burgum's trip today
That's
to
what it does, huh?
Alcatraz. I'm curious
That's what it
what the
does.
funding is going to look like for that, and who the president does want to see incarcerated there,
Sure.
If it were to become.
Sure. Well, this was an idea of the president. He spoke about it in May.
Was he
and
a
he
YouTuber?
directed his administration to review a reopening plan for Alcatraz if it is possible, which is why the Attorney General and the Secretary of Interior have
I hope y'all
traveled
go
there
in
today.
Tim
They
Pool's
are,
chat and you
touring
call
the
him
site.
Tara.
And if the Alcatraz prison is reopened, it would be under the purview of the Bureau of Prisons. And the Secretary of Interior also would play a big role in this as well. So they're there to review the site today, and I'm sure you'll hear more from them on it later. And just to follow up, Libby,
That's
on
the
who
biggest
the president
supporters
wants to see
NHL.
housed
Well,
in
yeah.
Alcatraz,
I would say
the worst
biggest-
of the worst
biggest
criminals
financial
in this
supporters
country,
NHL for sure.
Both American
But
criminals who
NHL ain't a
convict
member,
heinous-
bro.
convict heinous crimes,
NHL
but
still ain't a
also,
member on the channel.
illegal alien
Now
criminals.
we'll give it to him. He
before
did. He is
deportation as well.
a subscriber on Twitch.
Go ahead.
He gifted 5 subs on Twitch. So
Chinese Communist Party to cease its campaign to eradicate
You know what I'm
Falun
saying?
Gong.
He's a member
as
somewhere.
A peaceful spiritual practice.
I thought you two
With
were
the
brothers, bro. How do you both
anniversary of
have
this
player
brutal
in your
persecution
name?
Approaching, does the White
Is
House
that
have a
common?
message for the CCP on this?
Shocked you
I
haven't
will
heard
get
of him.
you one
He's
and we will
huge,
get back to you.
big YouTuber. No, I've looked him up because
Go ahead.
people keep calling me him,
Take-
but
Go ahead and then go ahead.
it must not be a niche I follow.
I've never called on you. Why don't you go ahead? In the red tie. Dr. Harper behind.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Me, thanks.
Yes.
Thank you, Caroline.
Yes, you.
Everybody's
I
like
my
me,
kids.
her,
Thank
me.
you.
What's your outlet?
I'm for Record TV, Brazil.
Great.
Brazil's President Lula recently said that President Trump was elected to govern the United States and not to act as the emperor of the world. And he also emphasized that Brazil is open to negotiation. I'd like to hear what you have to say about it, what the administration has to say about it, and specifically what areas are currently open to negotiation in the light of the 50% tariffs that were announced. Thanks.
Sure. The president is certainly not trying to be the emperor of the world. He is a strong
that one of his
president for the United
daughters?
States
No,
of America,
this?
and he's also the leader of
This
the
is
free
not one of
world.
Trump's
And we've
daughters.
seen a great shift across the entire globe because of the strong leadership
Right,
of this
chat?
president. In regards to Brazil, the president
What's
sent a
the
letter
necklace?
to Brazil
You know,
announcing
this
their
actually
new
is just like a D.
tariff,
It came with some clothing that was ordered from
percentage. He also
Japan,
directed
so
our
it might be a
USTR
Japanese
ambassador
brand or
Jameson
something.
Greer
I'm
to
actually not
launch an
sure.
investigation of Brazil under Section 301 of the Trade Act of 1974.
Hot body.
designed
If you want to
address
see the
unfair
body, make
foreign
sure you come to the
practices that
sleep
are
stream
affecting
tonight
US
because people
commerce.
keep making me
For
rip my
years,
shirt
we know
off.
Brazil's
So
digital
you guys will
regulations
enjoy
and
that.
weak IP protections have undermined U.S. tech and innovative companies, and their tolerance of illegal deforestation and other environmental practices puts American producers,
we're
manufacturers,
lighting up, chat. Make
farmers,
sure you're
and
lighting up with
ranchers
me.
who follow better environmental standards at a competitive disadvantage. So this president always acts in the best interest
Weed
of the
and
American people
politics.
and the United States of America, and he will
Goes
continue
so good
to do
together.
so. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you later. I appreciate the enthusiasm today.
All right, so that's the cleanup on the White House briefing. Now to get to the juicy stuff for the day, chat. No. Oh, yep. Yeah, the Genius Act. This is what we're going to check out. This was from earlier today, and it's a new act that Trump signed in. It's only coming from 1 year. That better fix. Let's get to Trump. Don't want all this background music. Everybody take a look at JD. The homie JD. All right, come on, get us to the juicy stuff. Where's the orange man? Ah, here he is.
Genius Act. They named it after me, and I want to thank you. I want to thank you.
What a place to start.
This is a hell of an act. You know, I did something very unusual. I said, this has been something, it's been, a lot of people thought it was impossible, some of the things that have been done. And of course, the great big, I added the word great, the great big beautiful bill.
That said, I don't have
That
money
was
today, bro.
something
Do not
that
worry
nobody
about it,
thought
Death.
possible.
You're
They thought it would
absolved
be
from ever having
anywhere from 7
to do anything again,
maybe
brother.
3, I'll go the opposite direction.
You and
but
NHL
3
definitely
to 7
launched
different bills,
a big
and we
step in
said,
my YouTube career. I'll
let's
say
just
that.
put it in one, because this way there's something for everyone, and there really is. There's a
Wait
lot
till y'all
of
see
things
the
for
good
everyone.
good things coming for the
And
channel.
when we get the word out how great that is for every single person in this country, virtually, and all they have is a soundbite, death. You know what their soundbite is? Death. Aren't they nice, Death? They are the most incompetent people. They've lost their confidence. They've lost everything, if you think about it. But Jasmine Crockett is on her way. She's on her way. She's the new star of the Democrat Party, Jasmine Crockett. They're in big trouble. But I have to tell you, that was great, and this was great. And I'm so tired of making phone calls at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, getting calls from our great speaker.
Yeah, there's dark circles
we
under
have
his eyes.
12
He's not
hard
lying.
no's. I say, Mike, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. We have 12 hard no's. The good news is I call up, hello, Jim, how are you? Sir, you have my vote. Boom. Sir, you have my vote. I really they just want a little love. Unfortunately, it's always the same. It's always the same 12 people. It's 5 senators. And
That
it's
says
12
even Trump knows my name. Yeah, I guess he does.
I said to John Thune and I said to Mike, I said, listen, I want to have a party, but not to those people that I have to speak to endlessly every time. And they're wonderful because they always seem to come through, other than a couple. Rand Paul Jr. from Congress and Rand Paul from, no, other than a few people. But I said, I want to have them over. We're going to have a party for everybody in Congress, everyone in Congress except 12. We're going to have...
Except
Mike
12?
Tom,
He's
I'll
keeping
tell
the
you
police
Tom
out?
is definitely coming. The whole group. Where are those 12 people? They're the only people I don't see. We could do it today. We don't have to vote. And I would say of the 53 senators, 48, we're going to have 48 in here. You won't even have to come to that one. But these are the greatest people because they always vote yes, and we don't have to go crazy. You trust us, we trust you. That has been a very special.
This is
group of
like
people.
level
Really
1
good.
Trump word vomit. It gets much worse.
96%
This is easy.
phenomenal. And
Maybe it's 'cause I'm not high
4%
yet.
extremely difficult. Do you agree with that? But they get there, most of them, not all of them. Those are the ones we really don't like. But I want to thank you all for being here. This is really a big day. This afternoon, we take a giant step to cement American dominance of global finance and crypto technology. as we signed the landmark Genius Act into law. So congratulations to everybody. It is a big deal. We've come a long way since the Biden administration. When
Biden.
they had no idea.
I got to
what you
keep
were all
practicing
talking
him.
about.
For those of you who don't know, on one of our
half of you
politics
were
stream, we
under
did
arrest
hit
for no
our super
reason
chat goal,
whatsoever.
and so I'm doing a Trump stream where I'm dressed as Trump,
For no
Trump's
reason.
voice,
And we wanna
everything.
have it, not
So make sure you
China.
guys
China was
subscribe so
actually
you do
happy
not
with
miss that.
watching
It's going
this
to be
thing.
good.
They like it, and we've got this, we've got AI, we've got a lot of great ones happening, and this is a very big thing. And I want to thank the bill's author, Senator Bill Haggerty, a very good friend of mine. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. He's a very
These headphones are
handsome
so
guy.
good, I
Looks
can't
great.
ever
He's got the whole
differentiate
package. But,
what
you
I'm
know, I
hearing
got to
from
know
real
he was
life.
ambassador to Japan.
I have
And we
to
had a little
constantly
problem
make
with
sure there's
Japan
not
on
something
trade,
in my house.
But he was my ambassador to Japan, and I went to Japan, and he is speaking fluently Japanese. I said, "Did you learn it as a child?" No, I just learned it over the last 4 or 5 months.
Oh my God.
I said, "You learned Japanese? Maybe the single hardest language to learn."
Yes.
It's actually
Chat.
breathing.
If you don't know, we have on this channel have learned Japanese with you guys, with the viewers, and if Japanese is hard, especially that alphabet, right?
Rather than, it's breathing. I'm not going to imitate it because we'll end up with a big story, and I don't want that. But he spoke totally fluent Japanese. I said, "That's very impressive." And he was introducing me to Mr. Honda. I said, "Oh, are you
Mr.
in the
Honda.
car business?" He goes, "Yes." I said, "You're a very rich man." And then he said, "Mr. Toyota, right? Toyota." And I said, "What business are you in?" Let me guess. He said, "Cars." He was my interpreter, and I was so impressed. And I was getting ready to leave. He said, "Sir, I'd like to run for the United States Senate." I said, "Where are you from?" He said, "Tennessee." I said, "I love Tennessee, but do they know you there?" "No, but if you endorse me, I'll win," right? And I endorsed him, and he took a 48-point lead. And they didn't know who the hell he was. And he's turned out to be
They just said Trump wanted
a
him
great
there.
senator. And now they
Alright.
all know who you are. Yeah, so you are. You're
Ooh, that was a
fantastic,
deep
and
voice.
We thank you. And
Thank you, Mr.
Just
President.
the fact that you're doing this and you understand this is a complicated world, and you understand it, Bill.
Oh, Nick says
So
greeting
you've been
from
great.
Epstein
Thank you very
Island.
much.
That's
We're
wonderful.
also pleased to be joined by our great Vice President, J.D. Vance. J.D., thank you very much.
Oh, Jid in the house.
And he's been up speaking late at night on the phone. I said, "J.D., how about you taking 3 or 4 of these people, please? Because 3 or 4 I cannot speak to. I just can't." And he'd take them and he'd come through, right, J.D.? Also, Speaker Mike Johnson. He's unbelievable. He's an unbelievable. I mean, if you go by what we're doing, if you keep at this
The
pace,
political orange
you
is
can't
speaking
keep it
some
up
shit.
for
You're
another,
absolutely right.
200 days, but I will tell you this: if you keep up this pace for another week, you go down as the greatest.
You guys want me to
speaker
turn his
in the
volume up?
House in
Is
history.
it too
So,
low?
one more week. One more. Who needs Tip O'Neill? Who needs Tip O'Neill? He's better looking than Tip O'Neill too. But no, he's been going at a fervent pace. Would you say that's right? Your wife probably says, "You are crazy." You've been aging beautifully in front. He's an amazing
Guys,
speaker,
what about
a great
that?
leader, and
Is that better for
everybody
Trump's
likes
speaking
him and
volume?
respects
Can you
him,
still
and that's
hear
why
me?
we're with a very small majority, like 3. We had a time when we were 1. Remember? We said we're 1 heart attack away from losing the House. Then we won a couple of seats and a couple of other. Now we have 7, maybe if we're lucky, 7. But we win with, nobody's ever done, I don't think anyone's ever done this before, to win with those small. We had a little help from Tom too, right, and a lot of other people. I want to introduce also Secretary Howard Lutnick, who's been fantastic. You have done a great job, Howard. We've got trade deals coming out of our ears, right? We got so many trade deals, they're all calling so many, and I really mean this too. It's like, how do you deal with so many? But, I always say when we send out the paper, that was a deal. They don't want the Fake news doesn't want to hear that. When I send out the paper,
Fake
you're paying
news,
35
baby.
or 40% tariff.
The most used
That's a deal.
phrase
Then they'll call
in
and
any
see
Trump
if they can make a
presidency.
little bit different kind of a deal, like opening up their country to trade in some cases.
Redneck temple.
They've never
That's
been
crazy.
open, but we're doing well, and we have a couple of big ones to announce pretty soon, right? Could almost do it today. Maybe we'll say it. Maybe later on we'll do it. Senator Bernie Moreno, a great victory. Bernie had great victory.
Just turned it down. Oh, the volume went too loud.
That was one of the
Oh my
really
God, I
tough
can't-
races. A lot of people weren't sure anybody could win that seat, and you won it in easy fashion, right?
Let me listen.
We won it together when you think of it. But you won it in easy fashion. You did a great job. Great guy. House Majority Whip. This is a great leader, Tom Emmer, a great politician and leader. Really good. And I like his wife even better. His wife is, she's the boss, but you are married to a fantastic woman, huh? And he knows that, and he
You
likes.
can't
he
even
likes
hear me
hearing
when it was
Some
up that
people
high.
don't, you know, they say, "Sir,
It's got to be like
can you
this.
please
It's
stop
too loud.
saying
It's
that my
just
wife
the
is
room
better
they're in
than
is
me,
weird.
sir?"
This should be good.
Those are guys
Volume
that don't
good, chat.
usually end up with a good marriage, you know? He's got a great marriage. So thank you, Tom. You really are a fantastic leader and representative. And Representatives Troy Downing, French Hill, where's French Hill? Where is French? You have been so great. Thank you, French. I spoke to him a little late. He was walking down the hall. I said, "French." He said, "I'm there, sir. You are great guy. Everyone respects you, French. You know that." Bill Heisinger. Bill, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good job. Dan Muser. I thought
Think
he was
anyone
gonna
named
become
Bill.
the next governor of Pennsylvania, but he likes Congress better, I guess, huh? So, but I think you're terrific.
Chat,
And,
let me know,
you
what is the
I would
price
have
of
always
eggs
been
where you
behind
guys are?
That I can tell you. Tim
Ask
Moore?
this every stream. What is the price
Tim,
of
thank
eggs?
you, Tim.
And also let me know who you are.
John Rose. John? Hi, John. Thanks. Good job. Brian Style. Brian Style. Still young.
I appreciate all the subs coming
Still
through.
nice and young. That's good.
Appreciate that.
GT
Remember, guys, if you
Thompson.
super chat anything, you end up on the shirt today. Let's try to meet that goal.
Andy Barr, good friend of all of ours. Thank you, Andy. Monica De La Cruz. Monica, she's here someplace. Thank you, Monica. Thank you, Monica. Mike Paradopoulos. Mike, thank you, Mike. Look good. Mike Lawler, Mr. Salt. Well, it should guarantee your district. I mean, you worked hard for New York, right? And you're on television, I'm on television, so this should be good for a couple of points.
We're all on television, chat.
Without you
Him,
and a couple of
me,
friends from New
Temple,
York, that wouldn't have
everybody's
happened.
on
That was
television.
not easy, right? Congratulations. Great job. Anna Paulina Luna. Anna.
That's a cool name.
Who is so great. I don't, even if she's here or not here, I want to tell you that she
Yo,
has been so
$14
great.
on eggs,
Worked
$12.
so
You guys
hard
are
to make sure
crazy.
we got it
Y'all are buying in
approved.
bulk. There's no
Ralph
way that
Norman.
one
Ralph?
dozen eggs is $15.
Well, what happened to Ralph?
Chat, are you lying to me? $2.50 in Ohio.
Baggage.
That's reasonable. $3.
Nick, thank you, Nick.
$3 for 12 eggs.
Good job.
You guys got to be buying them by
Votes. I
the
just saw a good
chicken.
poll on you, huh? Very good. Congratulations, Nick. Andy Ogles. Andy, who's a terrific friend. Beth Van Dyne. Beth, thank you, Beth. Great job. Thank you. Thank you very much for the great support. Roger Williams, a great baseball player, who also had to take a bullet, unfortunately, but he is a great guy.
had to take
He
a
was
bullet?
involved in that whole catastrophe. But he's
$4 in Canada?
fantastic
That's
and
like
has
roughly
been from
three
day
something
one, along with
for
a lot
US,
of
I
other
think.
people that I won't call out
Yeah,
because I have no idea
€4.
where the hell you are. I think
That's
I saw
not euro.
Jason here somewhere. Where's
Dad, you're from
Jason?
Canada, right?
Oh, it's lucky I called him.
Or you from Europe?
Ooh, lucky. They didn't put your name because I invited you at the last moment, right?
Where are you
He was
from?
over there doing some business in the White House.
$8 to
But,
$12 in
you're
LA. I'll lose my
incredible
mind. I
in
love
your
the name though,
position. Nobody knows
Fiddlesticks.
more about taxes.
must be a league
and
player.
Finance than you do, so
Yes,
we
sir.
appreciate it, right? Is that true, Howard? It's true. Thanks, Jason. Great job. And you'll help out with that other matter. You make him so strong and powerful, right? Along with Deputy Secretary of Treasury, Michael Faulkner. Where's Michael?
Michael fucking there.
Good.
A fucking guy.
Okay? And Ambassador Ken Howry. Ambassador. Thank you, Ken. Great job, Ken. I also want to recognize some of the countless industry leaders here today, including Brian Armstrong of Coinbase. You've done a good job, guy. That's a big deal. Dave Ripley of Kraken.
I'm from Austria. Okay, that makes sense, dude. Hell yeah, welcome in from
Allaire
Austria.
of Circle. This is a big day. Good job.
Yes, sir.
Jeremy.
V Productions. Appreciate the first super chat.
Teenagers with
Of
epstein.
Tether.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah, we hope not to think about that.
Ryan McInerney of
Let's go ahead and put you on the
Visa.
shirt, my
That's
man.
a good company. Chris
V
Pavlovsky
Productions
of
with
Rumble.
2 C's Productions.
Chris,
Got you, homie. Hold on.
What's your location, Chris? You're always a front row guy. You're just being nice today, I think. How's Rumble doing? Good? Good. If Rumble's doing good, that means Truth is doing good. Truth. That's good. You're doing a great job.
All right,
Thank you,
V
Chris,
Productions.
very much.
First one on the shirt today, guys.
Vlad
Let's see if we can meet that
Tenev
super chat
of
goal.
Robin Hood. Yeah, thank you, Vlad. Thank you, Vlad. Good. Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss. These are two smart, handsome guys. They got the whole package.
Whole
They're
package.
a Gemini, but they have the whole package. There are a lot of things actually, but Gemini's just the one for today, right? They've got the whole. They've got the look. They've got the genius. Got plenty of cash, and it's great that you're on our side. You guys are great. I can never tell them apart, but their mother can. I ask, can your mother
It's
tell
1
you
a.m.
apart?
where you are? That's
And the answer
insane,
is
Dad.
yes, right? Easily, or is it tough for
Bro,
her?
get a haircut and shave.
Easily, I think. Good.
Take your
You guys-
sensitive hat
you
off
guys
like a
are doing
man.
great. Thank you very much. Great to be with you. Let me say the entire crypto community, for years, you were mocked and dismissed and counted out. You were counted
Is
out
this live?
as
Yes.
little as a year and a half
Question
ago.
mark?
But this signing is a massive validation, and even before this signing, over the last year, year and a half, I think your stuff has gone up more than any stock, or just about more. A couple of stocks that were pretty good, I will say, but you have certainly as an industry gone up more than anybody. Nobody's gained the respect in such a short period of time. But this signing is a massive validation of your hard work and your pioneering spirit and your ability to never give up. Because a lot of people would have given up 2-3 years ago.
Half of y'all are
So I wanna
zesty, bro.
thank
Every
you
time Trump
for
come on screen, y'all get
contributing to
zesty.
the incredible strength
going on with
of
that?
America. This is going to make it stronger. And
Yes, Jack, I said this is
congratulations
live.
on this incredible achievement.
You guys can stop spamming
You've
it.
made our dollar look really good and strong and powerful. It's good for the dollar and it's good for the country. And that's why I backed you at an early stage. And I also did it for the votes because you did come out and vote. I will tell you. And they changed tune, you know, Biden's team, they changed tune right in the middle of the campaign. All of a sudden, they loved you guys. They dropped all charges. They did have, I got you guys out of so much trouble. And you know what? I don't think anybody voted for them, right? Because you remember, they treated you very unfairly, actually. So it's a great honor that we were involved. And it was a tremendous amount of support that we got at the polls. We won. Think of it, we won every swing state. We won by millions of votes. We won the popular vote. We won the districts by 2,750. Think of that, to 505. Different districts too, by the way. Every once in a while that number can change, but it doesn't change by much. The map was almost totally red, and you guys were
Okay,
with us right
now
from
we're
the
getting to
beginning, exactly one
some
year
word
ago
salad.
this month. Many of
Let's
you
do our
were
best
with
to
me in
interpret it
Nashville,
because we're
Tennessee.
kinda
You
high.
Remember that day, right? That was a big day, Nashville, Tennessee, when I became the first presidential candidate ever to address the Bitcoin conference. And at this time, and at that time, crypto builders and founders were under relentless assault by the Biden administration, which was trying to crush your industry and crush you as people and go after your families. And they were a vicious group of people. You know, people don't realize it. They were vicious, incompetent, but vicious. Well, Joe was an incompetent guy.
Oh,
but he was
Drac,
always
we're gonna
known
pull
as
up
a
that old
vicious
meme.
guy. I guess if you're going to be in that, you're probably off, if they're incompetent is better, right? Because you don't want to have a vicious guy that's competent. If you did, I wouldn't be standing here today. You know? But I pledged that we would bring back American liberty and leadership and make the United States the crypto capital of the world, and that's what we've done. And under the Trump administration, this is only going further. You're going to do really well. I mean, I'm so proud of what you've done in the last couple of years, and very important. On day one, I remember I did this and I said this and I mentioned this name, and I got the greatest applause of the whole campaign. We fired Joe Biden's SEC chair, Gary Gensler. We fired him.
Yeah, we got him out of here. Let's clap, chat. We fired that man. He can't support his family. I don't even know who he is. He might have been a bad guy. Who knows? No backstory. He didn't provide us with anything.
But I remember I was making a speech, and it was just a line in a speech. Then I said, and I will fire Gary Gensler. The place exploded. I said, I finished that one, and I said, what the hell did that guy do?
Like his
there
meme
was a
coin
lot of
scam?
hatred there. And it turned out, as I got familiar with everything, it turned out you were absolutely right. In his place, I appointed a visionary chairman who wants America to build the future and not block the future. He's going to be unbelievable. He'll go down as one of the greats. And Paul Atkins, where are you, Paul Atkins?
Where's Paul Atkins?
And you know, Paul, the crypto guys, they said, everybody said, not only crypto, every industry, they all wanted Paul for the position. And he's a tough cookie, too. He's just, but they actually said, we don't care. We just think he's fair. All they wanted was fairness. And they have somebody that you're really a champion of the street and you're a champion of the country. You're going to do a fantastic job. I saw you interviewed the other night. I watched it about 2 o'clock in the morning. It was a little thing called C-SPAN, which I don't know how many people were watching.
Yeah, what
don't
is
worry,
he
you were on
talking
prime
about?
time too, but they happen to have a little. I don't want to embarrass you, but fantastic job, really. You are absolutely so perfect for the job. Congratulations, Paul. And Paul is here today among the commissioners, various commissioners, including Hester Pierce and Mark Fiorito. Hester and Mark Fiorito. Thank you, Hester.
Dude, he loves name dropping. This is his favorite thing to do.
Thank you very
He'll
much.
name drop
And thank
anybody,
you,
bro.
Mark, wherever you may be.
American or not.
Oh, stand up, Mark. I didn't. Good. Thank you. Good job. Good. I'm glad I gave you a second crack you didn't hear because of the thunderous applause for Hester. But thank you. I heard tremendous things about both of you. Thank you very much. My first week in office, I also established the first ever presidential working group on digital assets, and we have an executive director. Where's Bo Hines? Bo Hines. And Bo is a great football player, right? Bo is a great football player, one of the better players in college football, so I know you from that also. See, who would think that I know that? I know a lot of things, Bo, but he was a champion player. I stopped the weaponization of government against crypto and Bitcoin, and we ended the lawless operation Choke Point 2.0. That was a bad operation. Then I kept my promises to the community and granted a full presidential pardon to Ross Ulbricht. Ross Ulbricht.
As long as he doesn't say Diddy.
And you have no idea how important that name became. It was like
Night,
a
Death.
symbol.
Appreciate you
And
stopping
his
by,
mother
my
was
man.
unbelievable. His mother was an unbelievable woman.
I'll catch you when you
But it
next
was
in.
so important to a certain group of people. And in a truly momentous act last March, I signed an executive order establishing the U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, as well as the United States Digital Asset Stockpile. And that's all signed up. And with today's signing, we're pushing even further into the exciting new frontier. Just as I promised last year, the Genius Act creates a clear and simple regulatory framework to establish and unleash the immense promise of dollar-backed stable coins. This could be perhaps the greatest revolution in financial technology since the birth of the internet itself. A lot of people are saying that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yes? If you say yes, I'm saying yes. I think it's great that you're involved, I will tell you. Many
Are you talking
Americans
about me or
aware
Trump
that
Sublime?
behind
I'm
the
so
scenes,
confused.
The technical backbone of the financial system is decades out of date, many, many years out of date. You know that. Paul and others are straightening it out, but payments and
So
money
guys,
transfers
the reason
are
why it
costly and
sounds a
take
little
days or
quiet
even
is it
weeks
sounds
to
like that in
clear.
my headphones.
Under this bill,
His
the
voice is only
entire
coming
ancient
from like the
system will
left
be
ear.
eligible for a 21st
It's
century
however they have their camera set up,
upgrade
it's bad.
using the state-of-the-art crypto technology, Who would have thought we would have been saying that 2
I hate
years
it.
after I really met you for the first time? The Genius Act provides banks, businesses, and financial institutions a framework for issuing crypto assets backed one for one with real U.S. dollars, treasury bills, and other cash equivalents. It's really strengthening the dollar and giving the dollar great prominence. And, you know, you have this little group called BRICS. It's fading out fast. But BRICS is, they wanted to try and take over the dollar, the dominance of the dollar, and the standard of the dollar. And I said, anybody that's in the BRICS consortium of nations, we're going to tariff you 10%. And they had a meeting the following day, and almost nobody showed up. They said, leave me alone. We didn't want to, they didn't want to be tariffed, did they, Howard? Huh? So it's amazing. No, we're not going to let the dollar slide. If we have a smart president,
Yo, I appreciate all those subs coming through. Reminder, guys, you get on the shirt. You get on the shirt of fame if you super chat during the stream. Just letting y'all know.
We can't let that ever happen again. Consumers, vendors, and people all over the world will then be able to use those stable coins for ultra low-cost transactions.
Also, gifts.
That are cleared and
I
settled
heard
in a
that's
matter
new.
of seconds
New thing you
rather
can do. You
than
can send
weeks
gifts
and
in
months.
chat.
And it's really an amazing thing. And with the privacy, flexibility, and decentralization of cash, this revolution has the potential to supercharge American economic growth and empower billions of people to save and
Does it?
transfer
More jobs?
in U.S. dollars. It's really all backed by the dollars. It's really a great thing. And a lot of, you know, we had a lot of Democrat support. I have to tell you that. I was shocked anytime you get one but we had a tremendous amount of Democrat support, which we appreciate, and which just shows you that you're doing the right thing. This will increase demand for U.S. Treasuries, lower interest rates, and secure the dollar's status as the world's reserve currency for generations to come. The reserve currency is so important. You know, if we lost that, that would be like losing a world war.
Quote,
We
unquote,
can never
America
let
is
anyone
cooked.
play games with us, and that's why when I heard about this group from BRICS, 6 countries basically, I hit them very, very hard. And
Chat's very crypto leaning
if they
today.
ever
A lot of
form-
crypto talk.
If they ever really form in a meaningful way, it will end very quickly. I will tell you for them, they won't be gone very long. I don't think they'll even do it. They're virtually afraid to meet. I also remain fully committed to my pledge never to allow the creation of a central
America.
bank digital currency in America. It won't happen. My first. Thank you. And the other night, I will say, with some of the congressmen and women, they wanted that so badly. That was so important to them. You know, I was impressed that they knew what the hell it was, to be honest with you. Please, sir, please, the central bank digital currency, well, you have to make sure, sir. And I'm saying, what do you know about that? It's amazing the knowledge that people have gained all of a sudden. We had a lot of problems with some of them. I said, we've already got it from the Fed, right, from Commerce, and from an executive order. You don't need it a fourth time. Sir, we have to get it. It's amazing. But
I love when he impersonates the man. Like,
Sir, we've got to do this.
And we
Launch
helped
the
them out.
missiles.
My first week in office, I signed
Protect the
an executive
country.
order to ban the creation of a CBDC in the United States, and very soon I look forward to signing legislation that will codify and ban make it a permanent law, put it in permanence. I'm also committed to signing landmark crypto market structure legislation this year to grow the industry. We're going to be growing it even more than people ever thought. It's a really hot industry. And for a little while, 2 nights ago, we were a little concerned because we were a little short on votes. Like, I would say maybe we were about 9 short. 9 short at 3 in the morning. We were about 4 short at 3:30 in the morning. And we were in good shape at 4 o'clock in the morning, right? But the people, and few people, have fought harder for the bill than we're signing than some of the people here today. You have been unbelievable. It's our White House AI and crypto czar, David Sachs, who's done such a great job.
we have an AI facility that's being opened up near me.
And I did his...
Terminator 2? About to start?
He has a show now. I've become a showman. But a couple of
Neighborhoods
years ago,
near you?
it's probably 2 years ago now in San Francisco, and I did his show. And I heard he's a very smart guy, and we had a great show. You've kept it going a lot longer, and you got, is that still your highest rated ever show? Oh, he knows what to say. He knows what to say. He had a rating that he had millions and millions of people. He said, what's going on? But we had a great show. They said, you know, that guy's really smart. I said, if I get elected, I was running at that time, if I get elected, we're going to bring him into government in some ways. He's worth a fortune. He's made a lot of money. He's a very rich billionaire, but this is more important, isn't it? This is, me too, you know, it's like, doesn't matter. This is much, I know Howard and I talk about it all the time. Howard could go back to his wonderful brokerage firm, hire 1 or 2 people, and it's not the same as what you're doing, right? We're doing the biggest deals in the world. Actually, the deal we're doing now in tariffs is the biggest, when you add it up, the biggest deal ever made in history. It could be 1,000 IBMs. I mean, if you think of it, it's the biggest deal ever done. So it's hard to go back to a brokerage firm and, you know, make $79,000 commission on the sale of a stock. Right? It's true. But I want to ask David. So David's been fantastic. He's done an incredible job. And I'd like to ask David to come up, say a few words. Thank you very much.
Who's David, then?
All right, thank you, President Trump. It's a great honor to be here, and it's true that I never expected to work in government at all.
He looks like a David.
Everything changed after President Trump came on my podcast, and
this podcast.
I accepted this job as cryptozoar because I thought it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to work for a president who really wants to get things done for the American people. And if anything, that's been an understatement. The first 6 months of this administration have been more successful than any administration in American history. What's been done? It's just been incredible. President Trump has worked at tech speed. We're used to working fast in Silicon Valley, but even this is fast for us in Silicon Valley, the speed at which you move President Trump.
We will look up some more Epstein stuff
and now today,
following
you
this.
have
I
another
think there's a couple sources that have made a couple of announcements, but I don't know how credible things are going to be. I do no research beforehand. I've witnessed this at the same time as you guys.
Dominance in the crypto industry by creating clear rules of the road. It will update archaic payment rails with a revolutionary new payment system, and it will extend U.S. dollar dominance, like you said, globally, by creating a digital dollar that people all over the world can use. And for every digital dollar in a crypto wallet, there'll be a traditional dollar in a U.S. bank account, which will create trillions of dollars of demand for U.S. Treasuries. So that is the power of this bill, is U.S. dollar dominance. This is a huge promise made and promise kept by President Trump. And there's just a few other people I'd like to thank. First, my family for being here. Thank you.
All right, we thank the family. We like family.
Bo Hines, who President Trump mentions, the director of our crypto council, he really did the heavy lifting here. So, Bo, I just want to thank you again. And my chief of staff, Tracy Johnson, as well, who also does the heavy lifting. And Bill Haggerty and French Hill and all
Bill
the
Haggerty, I like that name.
who've already been mentioned by President Trump, so I'll say time, but it's really been an honor to work with all of you. This was really a team effort.
You must take me to the forest,
most of all, I want to thank President Trump for accomplishing what nobody thought was possible. And it's true that just earlier this week, the media was reporting that this bill was dead. This bill was dead, and then the media didn't know one thing, that we had a secret weapon. We have a deal maker in chief. And thanks to President Trump, he stepped in and saved this bill. And it's because of your vision, your leadership, your determination, your skill.
Is that Laura?
Who is
Please
Laura?
Just come here.
Oh, my
This
goodness.
is our superstar. She was the head of the Republican Party, and nobody complained about anything. We wanted to go. This is Laura Trump, married to a young gentleman named Eric. They have beautiful 2 children, but she has been so good. She stepped into that position like it was nothing. Then we won, and she said, Dad, I'd like to go home right now to my beautiful husband and my son and daughter, right? But you did a fantastic job, and you worked with a great gentleman, too. He's doing a fantastic job. But I just want to thank you. I just saw you standing
Chat, we
right
only
there.
got
I wanted to
15
bring
minutes
you in.
left
Thank
on
you
our
very
update
much,
hour.
Laura.
Let's see if we can
Thank
hit that super chat goal and get your name on my shirts that we might have to rip off tonight in the sleep stream.
Under the Trump administration, I mean, I just got back from Saudi Arabia, and we went to Qatar. We went to a number of countries, and I will tell you the level of respect that this country has now is incredible. The UAE, I tell you what, we had a time there, but every leader said the same thing. They said 1 year ago, your country was dead. And they'd say it that way. It was like, you know, I didn't know whether I was supposed to be happy or insulted, but the truth is we were in deep trouble. But they said 1 year ago, your country was dead, and today you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. And it's true. We have the hottest country in the world. We had a country, we were a laughingstock with the borders, people pouring in. Can you imagine last month, in the month of June, actually, 0. Now, I don't even believe that, 0, because you have hundreds of thousands pouring in, and then all of a sudden it's 0. But they have it down as 0. And very liberal people take that particular toll. It's a liberal group, so they're not giving us any favors. They had 0 people coming through our border. Can you imagine that? From literally hundreds of thousands and millions pouring in from all over the world. They came from...
Zero reported. Come on
now. They came from prisons,
Zero
jails.
reported.
They came from mental institutions, gang members. There were gangs.
I've
They
seen the
came from all
TikToks.
over the place, from every country. They came
I've
from
seen the
Congo and
TikToks.
Africa, a lot from the Congo. They came from South America. A lot of came from Venezuela. They emptied their jails into our country. Can you imagine? They allowed that, emptied their jails into our country, and they let them walk right into our country like perfect. 11,888 committed murder. 50% committed more than one person. They murdered more than one person. 50% of 11,888.
That is the criminal thing's crazy.
And we're getting them out, and Tom Homan and Christie are doing a great job. That Tom Homan casting award. And he takes abuse, but they just keep fighting, and they're winning, and we're winning in the courts, so we're winning everywhere. But we've got the hottest country in the world, and you're a big part of it. So the golden age of America is upon us, and with today's signing, the future of crypto and the crypto industry, the U.S. dollar working together, because they really are hand in hand, is going to be stronger and bigger and better than ever before. And I just want to thank everybody, some tremendous people in this room. And maybe when I sign, I'll ask some of our great senators and congressmen to come on up. Some of the top crypto guys, please come on up, because you guys work very hard on this. And we'll sign this, and we'll get on to the next battle, and we'll win. But we're winning.
We'll get on to
all
the
over
next
world
battle,
right
and
now.
we'll
It's
win.
not even close. Not even close. And we're going to keep it going. Thank you, everybody, very much.
All right, now he's going to sign the Genius Act. Genius Bill. Can we get this bald guy out of the way?
Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness.
When? Yeah.
Everybody,
Sir. Thank you so much.
please move.
This is not an auto pen, by the way.
It's a real
Which
pen.
is a big scandal. If that were a Republican,
Oh,
it
here we
would
go.
really be a big scandal. But it is one of the great scandals of our time. Thank you very much.
That
everybody.
and the Epstein scandal, he says. All right. Thing's falling apart, bro. What's holding it in there? Still might talk a little bit. I think it's just him walking around and shaking people's hands, yeah. So, yeah, let me look at this. This is 48 minutes ago.
The Justice Department asking a Manhattan court to make years-old grand jury testimony related to the Jeffrey Epstein case public. Paula Reed joins us again. And Paula, you've had a couple minutes now to go through this grand jury ask again for everybody watching.
You want to look at? You want to look at Paula, or you want to look at a homeboy on the left?
Of the Epstein documents writ large. There's a lot that the Trump folks are not asking to release, but on this small part, what can you tell us?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I wanted to see what argument they were going to make here to this judge. They're arguing that all of this is in the public interest. And I will say the Justice Department has not gotten a lot right on the messaging about this effort. But here it appears that the Attorney General Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche, they're at least striking the right tone. Look, I don't know if this is going to work, but what they're writing here, they're saying, quote, public officials, lawmakers, pundits, and ordinary citizens remain deeply interested and concerned about the Epstein matter. They are noting the fact that in other places they have released portions of grand jury transcripts after concluding that the Epstein case qualifies as a matter of public concern. After all, Jeffrey Epstein, they say, is, quote, the most infamous pedophile in American history. The facts surrounding the Epstein case tell a tale of national disgrace. They argue the grand jury records are thus critical pieces of an important moment in our nation's history. They also argue that they understand there are privacy interests for victims and accusers, and they believe that a lot of the privacy concerns are diminished by the fact that Epstein is, of course, deceased, but they're willing to work with prosecutors to try to redact anything that could potentially impact victims. So the arguments here, they are well articulated. As you have said, though, this is just a tiny portion of the evidence that exists, and now the judge will likely want to allow those accusers, victims, their lawyers to weigh in on this possibility because grand jury material is by default confidential. And look, even if the judge decides that he will release some of this, there are still going to be questions about all the rest of the material that the Justice Department itself has the power to release and has not done so.
Right, and just to underline it again for folks, this is the grand jury testimony related to the prosecutions of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. The questions and the reason why people want more accountability, Jeffrey Epstein's dead, Ghislaine Maxwell's in prison, is because they're questions of all the other people who may have been involved. They will not necessarily be mentioned in this because the prosecutors were not going after them.
That's exactly right. Highly unlikely that any of those other individuals are mentioned here. But the Attorney General, I really think it's important to note that she said last week that they reviewed this case and they don't believe that they have evidence to go after any third parties. But clearly, the public is not satisfied by that.
Meanwhile, there remain unresolved mysteries surrounding Jeffrey Epstein. Joining us now is award-winning Miami Herald investigative reporter Julie K. Brown. She exposed many horrific details of the Epstein sex trafficking story previously not brought to light. In fact, it was her 2018 story that brought this all back into the fore. She's the author of a great book on the subject that I highly recommend. It's called Perversion of Justice, the Jeffrey Epstein story. Came out in 2021. Julie, thanks for joining us again. There's still so many documents about Epstein that can be released outside of what Trump has asked Bondi to ask the judge to release in the grand jury report in the investigation into Ghislaine Maxwell. There's Epstein's autopsy report, financial transactions, FBI investigation, interview transcripts, how the FBI and the Justice Department handled the case back in 2008, how they handled the case in 2019. Why do you think none of this has been made public, and do you think there's going to be more pressure on the president to release such information? Let me just ask you even a more narrow question. What do you, as an investigative reporter, if you could get one tranche of this information that has been held back, delivered right to you for your next scoop, what would you want?
I'd want his financial records, to be honest with you, because I think that's the smoking gun here. Epstein's finances and how he made his money, who he got money from. I honestly think that the way to go with this would be to follow the money and look at his finances. But to go back a little bit, just to this grand jury effort that he is mounting right now. I was able to speak to a couple of victims and lawyers that represent the victims, and they're very skeptical about what's happening here because they believe that there are certain words that are being used by the Justice Department and by the president, words like pertinent and credible, and those to them are words that mean that they might not be getting everything, even with asking for the grand jury records, because they believe that those kinds of things are being used to siphon off records that maybe they don't consider are pertinent or credible. So they're very skeptical about all this. The other point I want to make about the grand jury records is as far as we know, and my sources in the case have said, is the Justice Department only focused on prosecuting first Epstein, and then when he died, then Maxwell. It was a very narrow investigation. They didn't go into anything beyond that. They didn't go into any other aspect of Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking ring. So most of the information that I know about is probably information that's already out there that we know that has been revealed during trial.
Jeffrey Epstein's former attorney, David Schoen, who also represented President Trump during his second impeachment trial, said this earlier today on CNN. Take a listen.
There is no Epstein client list, that I can tell you, that lists names of people who he purportedly took to an island with young girls or any place else with young women. I can assure you he would have used that to his advantage if there were. And I can assure you the accusers who were involved in those situations, if they were involved with fill in the blank, some famous person, they would have sued by now. Their lawyers are very aggressive and have made millions off of those lawsuits.
What's your response?
Oh,
Yeah, it'd be great to be one of those lawyers,
They
huh?
did sue. They sued a lot of powerful men. We just don't know about it because when you sue somebody that powerful, they settle. And so there were plenty of lawsuits that the victims filed against these powerful men. That's part of what their lawyers did, and it's been all settled all quietly, and we just don't know about it. So that's just simply not true.
Schoen says he met with Epstein 9 days before Epstein was found dead in his cell in 2019, and they discussed several topics, including Trump. Take a listen.
I specifically asked him about Donald Trump, and he was adamant in making clear that he had no bad information about Trump. Remember, Trump had thrown him out of his club years earlier. He wasn't happy about the idea of Trump being falsely accused because Trump was one of the names being thrown around then.
Now, there's still a lot unknown about Trump and Epstein's relationship, although nothing
what do you think, Chad?
illegal has
He seemed
credibly
nervous.
been put
I'll
forward.
say that. He's just
But according to
nervous.
the Wall Street Journal's news story, there's this letter bearing Trump's name with a drawing, a crude sketch of a naked woman that was part of this birthday book for Epstein in 2003. Again, that's 2 years before Epstein was ever accused of anything untoward with underage girls. The Wall Street Journal says the letter concludes with the line, quote, "Happy birthday and may every day be another wonderful secret." Again, President Trump vehemently denies this. He writing on Truth Social, quote, "These are not my words, not the way I talk. Also, I don't draw pictures." He's also filing this libel suit against the Wall Street Journal
sue his ass
and News
off.
Corp and Rupert Murdoch. On the drawings, just as a side note, here's a sketch Trump drew in 2005 of the New York City skyline that was sold at an auction for nearly $30,000 in 2017. But regardless, what questions do you have when it comes to the president and Epstein and their relationship?
Well, let me just set the record straight. I know what he said that Epstein told him when he was in prison, but Epstein told his own brother, and his brother has been public about this, that he told him that if the public knew everything that he knew about Trump, they would have to cancel the election. And that's his brother's words, not mine. So there is something there. I'm not saying it means that the president did anything illegal or he was involved with Epstein's operation at all. But, the story that he told his brother is different from the story that he told that lawyer, number one. The other point I wanted to make is, he also said there's no list. I agree that there probably isn't a list, but my understanding is that Epstein kept files, and he did keep files on people. I don't know whether the Justice Department got their hands on those files, but Epstein had some kind of records. It might not have been, and I don't believe it was, in a formal list that everybody wants to refer to. So I just think that Epstein told different people different things, and it's hard to know really, what's true and what's not true.
Once again, Julie Brown's book is called Perversion of Justice, the
Little
Jeffrey
plug
Epstein
for
story.
Julie.
I highly recommend it for anybody interested in
She's
the story.
smiling.
She's done so much excellent
Says,
journalism
"Please buy my
related to this case and standing up
Chad, are
for
you
the
buying the book?
victims of these atrocities. Julie Brown, thank you so much. Always good to have you here.
All right, guys, that is pretty much. That is pretty much what we have. I don't think I have anything else because they haven't released anything on the list. Pam, no, yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything else. So that's pretty much where we're gonna cut it for today, guys. If you guys don't know, we did hit a super chat goal the other day, so we will be doing a stream as Trump, It's going to be coming up soon. Yeah, so if you want, subscribe, stick around for that. That's going to be awesome. We're also doing another type of stream tonight. We're going to be doing a sleep stream. It's going to be some fun stuff, so make sure you stick around and check me out for that. Yeah, guys, I hope you have fun today. This was a good stream. Yeah, that's going to be it. Peace out, guys. I don't have any outro music like the homies, you know what I'm saying? We'll get to that, though. We'll get to that. But yeah, peace, guys.